Playing with your baby as often as possible during their first few months is not just fun for you, it's helpful to your baby's development. During the first months, your baby can absorb information effortlessly. 6-month-old Phoenix plays on the floor with the toys that surround him. As he observes himself in the mirror, he learns to control his body, an instinct that will take him far and wide through his early years. When Phoenix hears speaking, he takes in every bit of language without a conscious effort. Making eye contact and using rich vocabulary only greatens the knowledge that builds in his young mind. When playing with your baby, focus on encouraging movement and provide as much language as possible. The play is more than just fun. It's what stimulates your baby's development.
Can significantly influence their development. Your infant internalizes the tranquility around them. Here are some points to consider when seeking to create peaceful surroundings for your child. At 6 months old, Phoenix's environment begins each day in his room. It's very orderly, everything has a place. Phoenix unconsciously absorbs that sense of order. Keeping only a few toys out for play helps keep the space clutter-free, preventing Phoenix from becoming overstimulated. All Phoenix's interactions are carried out with kindness, even during play. Offering him toys instead of putting them in his hands shows respect. Phoenix feels secure by following a predictable routine of activities each day, from eating in the same nursing chair to using the same changing station. Your baby absorbs the peacefulness of their environment. Ensure a healthy development by maintaining an atmosphere of order and respect.
Do you want to help your child develop their ability to concentrate and focus? Concentration is a skill your child will need throughout life for learning and completing tasks. You can support your little one's ability to focus by providing engaging activities and minimizing distractions. At times when 12-week-old Atticus is alert and content, his mom offers him an activity that will spark his interest, such as this brachiation triangle. The bright colors and shapes dangling from the overhead mobile grab his attention as he tries to reach for the objects. Mom stays nearby, but she makes great effort not to interrupt her son when he concentrates on an activity. She believes it's important to protect his concentration. His intense focus signifies that Atticus is working on developing his mind and body. You can help build and support your child's concentration by offering them engaging activities and minimizing distractions. Do you have a hard time putting your baby down? That irresistible longing to consistently hold your baby lets them know they are loved, but it also serves an important biological purpose. 8-week-old Michael is still adjusting to life outside his mom's womb. To help him feel safe and protected, Mom spends a lot of time holding and nurturing her son each day. When she looks into his eyes and listens attentively to his coos, she's letting Michael know that love surrounds him. Michael learns to recognize Mom's face, while Mom becomes more attuned to her son's different behavioral patterns. These interactions help Michael and his mom develop a deep bond, while also building Michael's confidence in his new surroundings. While allowing your baby time to move freely is imperative for their growth, so is dedicating time to nurture, hold, and talk to them. Make sure to get plenty of daily cuddles with your infant to ensure healthy development. Trying to decipher your baby's cries can feel like playing charades. But although crying sounds may seem similar, they differ depending on what your baby needs. Listen closely. Though 8-week-old Michael is not yet able to speak, he uses distinct sounds to convey what he needs or how he's feeling. For example, when he makes a "neh" sound, he's telling Mom he's hungry. An "ah" sound, like the one heard in the word yawn, is his infant way of saying he's tired. Closely watching Michael's behaviors and following a routine also helps Mom decipher if her son is hungry, tired, or uncomfortable, even when she can't understand his cries. Watching closely can also help Mom learn to pick up on the distinct sounds her baby makes. Listening attentively to your baby's cries, coupled with carefully observing their behavior, can help you determine how to help them when they're trying to communicate. Considered the special significance of your baby's first 2 months? During this time, known as the symbiotic period, An infant gradually adapts to life outside the womb, and mom receives great benefits from the close contact with her newborn. Here's how to make the most out of this precious time together. Staying closely connected during these first couple of months helps Walker positively adapt to the world. Nursing him provides the perfect nutrition and aids her body as it recovers from childbirth. Her uterus contracts during the feedings. Every smile and cuddle his mom provides makes Walker feel secure. The time mom spends holding, feeding, and talking to her baby causes her brain to release feel-good hormones essential to maintain a healthy mental state. Spending time holding and nourishing your baby during the symbiotic period provides a keen observation to learn about the world. How can you support your baby's natural desire to investigate their surroundings? Though it may not look like 1-month-old Nathan is learning, he unconsciously absorbs every sight, sound, smell, and texture. His mom has created a comfortable, safe area where Nathan can lay down and take in what's going on around him. She also provides engaging toys and colorful objects to captivate Nathan's attention. She does not interrupt her son when he's engrossed in a sight or sound. This way, he can develop his concentration and make new discoveries on his own, which is truly the best way for Nathan to learn. Support your baby's innate desire to investigate their surroundings by providing interesting views, sounds, and textures. And remember, even the tiniest explorer needs to focus without interruption. Do you know your baby may be attempting their first conversations right now? Before your baby utters their first word, they make coos and body gestures to communicate. What can you do to support this wonderful activity? 1-month-old Nathan enjoys experimenting with making different sounds. He practices pursing his lips together and using his tongue to make new noises. Nathan's mom listens and watches carefully to decipher the meaning of each sound and movement. She takes turns talking with him, being careful not to interrupt when he makes attempts to communicate. By responding to her son, she builds his confidence because he feels heard and acknowledged. Moreover, when she allows him to finish making his sounds, she demonstrates respect for her infant. Make the most out of your baby's first attempts at communication by acknowledging their efforts, talking back, and not interrupting as they form those precious first sounds.
Brightside has good news for you. You can stop your kids from whining, begging, and going wild for no particular reason, if you follow some tips from experts in education and trusted parenting sources. We should know our enemy well enough to defeat it. In this case, temper tantrums are the enemy. They are very common in kids aged 1 to 4. More than half of kids let their frustration out at least once a week, or more often. Why do they do it? They can whine to get a new toy, an extra candy, or some other unhealthy snack. Or maybe they just want your attention or are testing limits. Yes, they have no idea what limits are, but they can still figure out that crying loudly can bring them a treat, so why not do it? By the time they turn 3 or 4, kids have much better language skills than babies, of course, but their vocabulary is still not advanced enough to describe everything they feel. So what can you do to prevent your kids from going crazy now and then? Here is a list. Number 10. Make your child feel comfortable. As we already know, kids often whine for a reason, and you can neutralize that reason. Before going out shopping or wherever you have to go with your little one, make sure they are prepared for it, which means they had enough sleep, enough food, and you have everything they might need with you. It won't hurt to take a toy to the grocery store, and it might save your child from begging for another one. If you are going out for a long haul, also means responsibility. They will of course not know it just now, but they will see how their choices affect what they do and how they feel. You can also go smart about it and direct your child where you want them to be. Just give them an alternative where both options are good. For example, you can wake them up in the morning and offer to choose if they want to get dressed first or brush their teeth. They will have to do both eventually, but this way they will feel like they are given some choice. Number 8. Find out what's really bothering your kid. This is especially important for kids under 2.5, explains Jay Hooker, MD, a pediatrician from Rochester, Minnesota. At this age, they have a vocabulary of around 50 words and can't build a sentence out of them. But they still have cravings, thoughts, and wishes they can't just announce to you. You don't get the message, they don't get the answer. So what do? Throw a tantrum. Dr. Hoker offers the following solution. Try to create a sign language your kid will understand and remember. Teach them to show basic words like food, milk, sleep, and so on. It can work miracles.
Number 7.
Distract your little one. You know how when you feel sad or something is bothering you, going out being angry at them for throwing tantrums? A great teacher won't be mad at you for not being good at physics, right? Second, teach your little one to overcome frustration. Show them that drawing, reading a book, or cuddling with their favorite toy can help. And make sure you teach them words are much better heard and understood than screaming. Michael Borba, EDD, author of Parents Do Make a Difference, explains that kids really want to do what is right, but sometimes they just don't know what that is. Explain your concerns and fears. Never yell in front of your kid. You could even make up an angry vocabulary for your child. That would be a list of words to express negative emotions. Number 5. Do not provoke tantrums. Why would you ever do it? Well, we are not saying you want that to happen, but you might trigger them. Your kid loves candy, but too much is bad for him or her? Then do not put it where they can see it. Why remind them of something you don't want them to have? Your kid doesn't like to be forcefully interrupted or feels uncomfortable about doing certain things. Give them warning before they have to do it and explain why it is necessary. The activity itself might not last long, but the tantrum and bad mood could last for hours. Number 4. Use positive words. Millions of people in 47 countries around the world love Super Nanny. This modern-day Mary Poppins gives great parenting advice. One of the things she suggests is using positive advice instead of the negative. Every time you feel like screaming, "No, don't," and "Stop," don't do it. "Don't jump on the couch" could motivate your kid to do the opposite, especially if they are moody. Furniture is for sitting. You could go outside if you want to jump. Sounds much better and is unlikely to lead to conflict. Number 3. Keep a straight face. Introduce the new family rule to your kid. When he or she starts whining, you have the right not to respond to them. If that happens, keep your face straight. Jane Nelson, EDD, co-author of Positive Discipline for Preschoolers, recommends that you also introduce a warning sign which will show you are going to stop listening. Pull your ear, shake your head, it can be anything you choose. Number 2. Give praise when the kid deserves it. We are not just talking about money here. Your baby will unlikely appreciate it anyway. Thank the kids for doing the right thing. Dr. Michelle Borba thinks it is a good idea to say things like, "Thank you for using your normal voice," or "My ears love that voice." Do not feel awkward about giving thanks for the most basic things. Motivate them to behave well in exchange for little treats. Tell your boy if he makes it through family dinner without whining, you will let him watch his favorite cartoon right after. Number 1. Be smart about the pocket money. All families are different and have different income. There is no universal answer for how much pocket money to give your kid in numbers. Rooster Money, a resource fully focused on how you should go about pocket money for your child, offers an allowance report. It says 4-year-olds get an average of $2.82. This amount is slowly growing and doubles by the time the kid turns 9. An average 14-year-old gets $8.79 a week. Pocket money should allow the kid to save money for a special toy they like, buy gifts for their siblings and other family members, go out with their friends, buy a movie ticket, for example. If you give your child too much, they will find it hard to know the value of money. Your kids should know money is earned, not just granted, and it goes when it is spent. Some parents pay their kids for doing chores around the house. It is not always a good idea because they might believe the only reason to do something for their family's good is to be paid. Dr. Rebecca Chikor, author of The Calm and Happy Toddler and co-founder of Essential Parent Source, recommends giving your child tokens, not real money. You decide how much these tokens are worth. Saving them, kids can...
Parents should teach their kids to talk openly about unfair or difficult situations and be patient if some of the stories they tell don't really seem like a big deal through the eyes of an adult. A child can't always tell when they need help with something. That's why you should work together to figure out when your kid can resolve a problem themselves versus when they need your help. Bad lesson number 2. Children shouldn't express their negative emotions. It's tough to see a child suffer, whether they're crying, throwing a tantrum, or expressing any sort of emotional distress. And it's just too easy to shout, "Stop crying," or "Quit making a scene." Unfortunately, these types of reactions on the part of parents cause a great deal of harm to a child. Instead of addressing what's making the child upset, all you're doing is addressing the behavior that's inconveniencing you or making you uncomfortable. Yelling at them like this tells your child 3 things. 1, they are the ones being bad, not whatever hurt their feelings. 2, negative emotions are something shameful to be hidden. And 3, their feelings aren't as important as yours. In the long run, it only teaches young ones to distrust their parents, and by extension, all adults. Kids learn to bottle up their feelings and never express themselves. This, in turn, often manifests later in life as uncontrolled anger issues, a sense of unfulfilled entitlement, and even personality disorders. What should you teach instead? Good grades are great, and children should be encouraged to work hard in school. But if a kid associates good grades with success, they're in for a rude awakening when they meet an actual roadblock in life, like if they don't get into the college they wanted, or they're turned down for their dream job, for instance. Life's not always fair, especially when you've worked so hard for your perfect grades only to be slapped in the face by reality. It's easy for an overachiever to think it's their own fault they didn't get the job they wanted, that it's something wrong with them and not that there was simply another, more qualified candidate. What should you teach instead? Work hard to gain knowledge, but don't wrap yourself up in good grades. Education is important. There's no arguing that. It can open a lot of doors for you in life and give you invaluable life experience. But value the knowledge and skills you gain more than the marks on your report cards. Plus, even if your child doesn't get good grades, that doesn't mean they're not intelligent. Dr. Howard Gardner, a researcher at Harvard University, has identified 7 distinct types of intelligence, including visual spatial, bodily kinesthetic, and musical intelligences. Standardized tests measure only one kind of logical intelligence, leaving out other forms in which your child might excel. Bad lesson number 5. Always the best for my baby. As parents, it's easy to dote on your children and want to buy them all sorts of toys and presents. I mean, what's better than seeing their face light up when they get something new and cool? After all, when they're happy, you're happy, right? According to sociologists, parents in the U.S. are spending more and more on their children every year. But Ashley Eneriz, a mother and financial writer, thinks that parents these days have gone overboard. She recommends you carefully consider whether something you intend to buy for your children is really necessary or even helpful. Are you trying to give them something you didn't have in your childhood? Are you just trying to buy their affection? Children who get everything they want can grow up spoiled and convinced that they deserve more than others. Plus, kids emulate their parents in most ways, and if they see you spending lavishly, odds are they'll do the same. You want to build a relationship with them based on the little but also important things in life, like spending quality time together. Your relationship should not be strictly transactional. Buying things for your kid is not an effective path to winning their long-term affection. Sure, they'll like you, but it'll be for what you can get for them, not for who you are or what you mean to them. As adults, they'll see others the same way, as tools for their use and benefit. They might grow up as narcissists or exploiters, which will probably only make them end up alone and miserable. Yikes, definitely not a pleasant way to live, don't you think? Bad lesson number 6, making a mistake means losing something. For a parent, there are two fundamental responses to a child's behavior. Reinforcement will make it more likely the kid does it again, while punishment discourages the behavior. They can be broken down into 4 subcategories. 1. Positive reinforcement means giving the child something they want, like ice cream. 2. Negative reinforcement involves taking away something the child doesn't like an early bedtime. 3. Positive punishment means adding something the child isn't a fan of, such as extra chores. And 4. Negative punishment is removing something the child loves, like TV or video games. It's typically the last one that parents turn to most often when their kid does something that displeases them. It's easy to take away their TV privileges, video games, or time spent with friends in response to a bad grade. And there's always the classic sending them to bed without dinner when they've mouthed off. But are punishments like these really an effective method for discouraging bad behavior? Not really, at least according to the experts. Psychologists have been saying it for decades. Depriving a child of something is not an effective form of punishment. This is one of the most dangerous features of a toxic parent, who gets to play judge, jury, and executioner for their kids. And the rules of the game aren't always clear, since the severity of the punishment often depends on the parent's mood. Confiscating something your child loves teaches them that whoever has power can do whatever they want. Plus, going to bed without dinner, that's just outright cruel. What should you teach instead? Honest mistakes don't need to be punished. If your child gets a bad grade or flunks a test, that might mean they just need help with a tough subject. Give them a hand with their homework or hire a tutor. Pay attention to the child's behavior and see if it's really a cry for help. If your child does need to be punished, consider a more positive punishment, like giving them extra chores to do. Hopefully, the whole time they're doing these chores, they'll be thinking about how silly it was to do what they did and decide to never do it again. The key is to be consistent and fair. Don't teach your kid that might makes right. Bad lesson number 7. Children should never be idle. No one wants their kids to be bored, because that's when they usually get into trouble. But be wary of signing them up for all sorts of extracurriculars or forcing them to join a sports team when they have no interest whatsoever. You really don't need to keep kids busy and entertained around the clock. And if you try, you may end up doing more harm than good. Children who are constantly getting your undivided attention can grow up thinking that they should always get it from others. They may act out or misbehave in order to get attention and resent people who don't give it to them. Plus, if you're sending your kids off to after-school classes, dance lessons, sports practice, youth groups, and so on, you may be denying them a chance to spend some time on their own, which is just as important, believe it or not. Extracurriculars are great and all, but don't overdo it. What should you teach instead? It's okay to entertain yourself. Many psychologists claim that children won't learn to rely on themselves if their parents don't give them some alone time. Provide them with toys, books, and other activities, but let your child choose how to entertain themselves. Allot some free me time in their schedule and think of it as a little rest for yourself, the busy parent you are. Bad lesson number 8. Children must always share their toys. What should you teach instead? Sharing is best when it's fair. Encourage your children to share their toys while instilling in them a sense of fairness. If another child wants to borrow the ball they're playing with, it's reasonable for the kids to play with that ball together. If another kid likes your child's toy better than their own, maybe they can trade. It's also okay for your child to have their own possessions and want to keep them. If your kid doesn't learn to say no when something's important to them, you risk them growing up into people pleasers that stretch themselves out too thin, constantly doing favors for others. Did any of these bad parenting lessons surprise you? Do you agree or disagree with any of them?
B, C, D.
A, B, C, D.
In the morning, brush your teeth.
In the morning, brush your teeth.
E, F, G, H.
E, F, G, H.
Hurry up and don't be late.
Hurry up and don't be late.
I-J-K-L.
I-J-K-L.
Learn the letters very well.
Learn the letters very well.
M-N-O-P-Q.
M-N-O-P-Q.
What we say is what we do.
What we say is what we do.
R-S-T-U.
R-S-T-U.
You love me and I love you.
You love me and I love you.
V-W-X-Y-Z.
V-W-X-Y-Z.
Start again and chant with me.
Start again and chant with me.
A-B-C-D. In the morning, brush your teeth.
A-B-C-D. In the morning, brush your teeth.
E-F-G-H. Hurry up and don't be late.
E-F-G-H. Hurry.
Sticker. We've been taught that children are manipulative and that we need to break their will early on, so we resort to the yelling cycle. We tell Michael to put his toys away. He ignores us. We raise our voice. He ignores us again. We scream. And then, finally, he moves. But here is the problem. Biologically, when you scream, you trigger the child's amygdala, their fight or flight response. Their brain floods with cortisol, which literally shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for, you guessed it, logic and cooperation. By trying to force obedience, we are actually making it biologically impossible for our children to listen. We are creating a generation of kids who are stressed, reactive, and ultimately disconnected from us. But the most successful parents in the world, the ones raising the calmest, most cooperative children in Japan, they don't use these power struggles. They use a concept called ikuji, a philosophy of nurturing rather than molding. They know a secret that Western science is only just beginning to prove, and it involves 8 specific rules that create a lifelong bond of mutual respect. Rule number 1 is the concept of shitsuke, but not as we know it. In the West, we translate this as discipline, but in Japan, it means beautiful training. It's the idea that discipline isn't something you do to a child, it's a way of life you show them. This brings us to the first major revelation, skinship. In a study conducted over several years, researchers found that Japanese mothers emphasize physical closeness, or skinship, far more than American mothers. In the U.S., we are told to give babies their own space, to let them a secure attachment, which makes them want to please their parents later in life, because the bond is so strong. Rule 2 is the proximity rule, and it's why you rarely see a Japanese parent yelling across a playground. If David is doing something wrong, the parent walks over, kneels down to eye level, and whispers. This is a huge shift. In a house in Miami, you might hear a dad shouting, "Stop that!" from the kitchen. But that's just noise. To a child, it's a threat, not a lesson. By getting close, you engage the social engagement system of the brain, making cooperation natural, not forced. Now, let's talk about meiwaku. Rule number 3. This is the no bother rule. In America, this is the no bother rule. In America, we focus on the child's individual rights. It's my toy. I want to scream. But in Japan, children are taught from age 2 to consider how their actions affect the wa, the harmony of the group. Instead of saying, "Don't run because I said so," a Japanese parent might say, "If you run, the floor will be sad and the people downstairs will be bothered." They use empathy as the primary tool for behavior, not authority. Rule 4 is perhaps the most famous, gaman, which translates to patience or endurance. But it's not about suffering, it's about emotional regulation. When a child in New York wants a candy bar at the checkout line and starts crying, the parent often gets embarrassed and either gives in or gets angry. But a parent practicing gaman teaches the child to sit with the feeling of wanting. They acknowledge the feeling. I see you want that. And then they wait. They don't distract. They don't bribe. They just model the calm state they want the child to reach. This builds the prefrontal muscle, the ability to delay gratification, which is the #1 predictor of success in adult life. Let's look at a case study. Take John, a father in Houston, who was struggling with his 6-year-old son's aggression. John started implementing Rule 5, shokuiku, or food education. In Japan, lunch isn't just a break. It's a lesson in gratitude. Children serve each other, they clean up together, and they thank the food. By involving his son in the preparation and the cleaning ritual at home, John noticed a 40% decrease in his son's entitlement tantrums within just 3 weeks. Why? Because the child felt like a contributing member of a team, not a consumer being served. Rule 6 is the gift of independence. In Tokyo, you will see 7-year-olds taking the subway alone. In Los Angeles, we might call the police if we saw that. But the small errands rule is vital. Japanese parents give children manageable risks, like walking to the corner store alone. This builds self-efficacy, the internal belief that I am capable. When a child feels capable, they don't need to act out to get a sense of power, because they already have it. Rule 7 is low conflict communication. Japanese parents rarely use no as a blunt instrument. Instead, they use the mirror method. If a child is acting up, they mirror the emotion back. You seem very frustrated that we have to leave the park. Once the child feels seen, their nervous system relaxes, and they become obedient because they no longer feel the need to fight for their autonomy. And finally, Rule 8, the lead by example rule. There is a Japanese proverb, the back of the parent is the child's textbook. If you want a child who doesn't yell, you must never yell. If you want a child who is patient, you must be patient with them when they are at their worst. To help you implement this, I've developed the CALM framework. It stands for connection, attachment, limits, and modeling. C is for connection before correction. Always touch your child's shoulder or get to their level before giving an instruction. A is for attachment. Spend 15 minutes of floor time every day. No phones, just you and them. L is for logical limits. Explain the why behind the rule, not just because I said so. And M is for modeling. Show them the behavior you want to see. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you're at a grocery store in Chicago. Sarah's daughter, Mia, wants a toy. The old way would be Sarah saying, "No, put it back. We aren't buying that today." Mia screams. Sarah gets embarrassed and snaps. "Stop it or we're going home." Result? High stress, zero learning. The Japanese way, the calm way, would be Sarah kneeling down. "Mia, I see that toy looks very fun. It's hard to leave it here, isn't it?" Mia nods, crying a little. Sarah continues. "We are going to practice our gaman now. Let's say thank you to the toy for letting us look at it, and we will put it back for the next child." It sounds simple, almost too simple, but by acknowledging the emotion and giving it a ritual, you bypass the fight-or-flight response. If you want to see results, you need a roadmap. Weeks 1 and 2 are the proximity phase. Your only goal is to stop yelling from other rooms. If you need to tell your child something, you walk to them, every single time. It will be exhausting at first, but by day 7, you will notice they start looking for you before they act out. Weeks 3 and 4 are the skinship phase. Increase physical touch by 50%. Hugs, hair ruffling, sitting close during a movie. This rewires their nervous system to view you as a source of safety, not a source